Hello.
Hello, Luke. Happy Thursday. How you doing, man?
Thursday. It is Thursday, isn't it? Yep. I'm good. I'm
Almost to the weekend.
yeah, whatever that means. I am I'm currently in the middle of a fast.
Oh, all right. So no food, no good. A little hungry, I'm sure.
Nothing. Yeah. I am I am going as hard as I've ever gone.
All
So
right.
yeah.
Fun, exciting, man. And just how are things in general? I saw what you posted on your story on Instagram yesterday. Something about your arm. Everything all right with the health and all that?
It's been a little bit of a journey. I tore my I don't know if you want are we talking online or are we talking live or what?
Yeah, we're on.
Oh, we're on. Oh yeah. Okay. I tore my ligament in my elbow um, training for the Mike Perry fight, and it was a bit of a problem. I was kind of working through it, but I was able to manage it. And I went to on a TV show on like an episode for my buddy's show. It was called Man Eats Wild into Africa, and we did this interaction with the Maasai warrior tribe, and the tribe starts getting into this competition mode where it's jumping highest, who can like shoot the bows the longest, and of course we had to throw fucking 40-pound spears, maybe 30-pound
All
spears.
right.
But, I had to show up to the show and I had to throw. I didn't know what to do. And I definitely tore something further. I made it a lot worse. But you got to do what you got to do when you're
Yeah.
in Kenya.
Yeah, no kidding. And then go into a fight afterwards. That's life
Yeah,
life you live, right?
life to live. So, yeah, tore my elbow throwing spears with the tribe. And yeah, I've been nursing it. I've got an appointment with Bioaccelerator next month to go down to Colombia and get some stem cells. I'm just trying to nurse this thing back to health so I can get back and finish this thing on the way I want to finish it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And looking forward to whenever that time comes. But going back to like the last fight with Perry, like I just wanted to ask you right away, man, like what kind of reactions you got from fans? Because I think you proved a lot of doubters wrong. Personally, I think that looked great up until obviously the ending, unfortunately. But a lot of people kind of sleep on your hands a lot. But you went out there, and I think, in my opinion, proved a lot of people wrong. I don't know what kind of reactions you got.
I mean, I feel good about where I'm at. I mean, you have to understand that I just started boxing. I mean, I never was a boxer. I would always rely on my kicks, my grappling, and so this last couple of years have been focused on my hands and getting better in that space, and I've never really dedicated the time. And I feel like I just started boxing and I'm just getting better. I think it's proven. You can see that I was getting better. But yeah, I'm just not willing to lose my teeth for that shit.
Right.
I had some miscalculations. I got kind of in my head about the beard. I'm not a big fan of beards, and in that sport, you should have a beard. You should definitely have a beard for sure. Should grow that bitch out real nice. I kept going and I was like, "Fuck this shit! I don't need a." I'm like, I'm gonna cut it off, and yeah, it didn't work out for me. And I should have had a different mouthpiece. I would this old. I had like an old mouthpiece. I won all my world championships with, and it was just a thing,
Mhm.
and transferred to getting like a professional mouthpiece one time. And the one time that happened, I fucking broke my jaw with Jan Blockowitz. So with that being said, I was like, I'm gonna go back to my thing, and I just didn't. And with the gloves, it's fine,
Mhm.
but without those little, I mean, the two knuckles he hit me with hit me like perfectly on my front two teeth.
Mm.
Uh, so what happened was he broke my veneer. I had like half veneer from a surfing accident when I was a kid, and then he bent in my other front tooth. So he bent in my other front tooth and then broke the veneer. So I was trying to bite down and my tooth kept folding in on me, and I was like, "Fuck."
Mhm.
I remember trying to run around the ring a little bit and feel it, and I was just like, "I'm not losing my teeth for this shit.
Yeah.
I'm not losing my." I'm like, next, let's get to a real fight here. That's
Right.
that's that's like bare knuckle is it's there's something cool about it, of course, but it's not really an artistic fight. It's an intense brawl, and you taking away all the technique of what I'm a technical fighter, so you take away all the techniques of fighting, of skill, of everything, and you landing those certain shots that could really actually do damage. You know, it's like it's forward pressure. It's just it's intense bullshit,
Car
and
crash.
it's a car crash, and I think it's not exactly my style. You know, I'd like to actually try a real boxing match. I'll put all my money on me taking Mike out on a boxing match. I'll put all my purse. I beat that kid every day in a boxing match.
Well, man, that's why I want to give you so much kind of credit for it because, with all these things considered, like doing as good as you did, and then even the injury you mentioned there, and like it not being what you're used to, just regards to boxing in general, but then no gloves, all these things, like, were you at least kind of somewhat satisfied with at least how you went out there and performed, even though it was a loss?
I mean, I'm ready to win. I'll
Right.
tell you that. And going out there and putting the time and dedication into it, but it's hard to understand. You don't really know what you're doing. You know, this is my first time in, and it's hard to really assess what bare knuckle boxing is. Me and Jason Perillo and Cheeto were in the gym every day, just like the fuck. How do we train for this shit? Like, what is what? You know, it's like it's a world. I've never stepped into that ring. You know, the ropes too. It's like the guards stick off so high off the so far out of the ring, and I ended up tripping on it at one time. I was trying to play the outside game and just try to catch him with a hook on the way in, and I remember catching my feet. So it's just, yeah, it's definitely awareness of what that is. But I I I'm not hating on my performance. I think I did all right for what I had, and I think I learned a lesson. That's just a dumb sport, and it's time to go back into something that suits me and my style better, which is obviously something more technical and artistic.
For sure, man. And I mean, speaking of that, I think a lot of people kind of expected, once you left the UFC, that all right, maybe we can see Luke in some grappling competitions or something like that because you have one of the best top controls like in MMA history. I think that's pretty undeniable. And of course, you could have done some grappling competitions while you're still with the UFC. But is that anything that's been on the radar since then, or at the moment, or anything like that?
Um, I haven't seen enough money in it, honestly, to devote my time in this place. Like, I don't have that much time left in my career, and I want to dedicate the time I have and the focus I have to doing something that's more on par with my needs and my wants, and just yeah, obviously it's got to be. I want to excite. I want to perform, and I want to get fucking paid. Bare knuckle paid me very nice. I mean, I didn't even think I was gonna do it. I was like, what the fuck? I was like gonna box. I was gonna box these kids, Jake, the Paul brothers, whatever the fuck I had. I had a lot of options, and we were negotiating a lot of things. I think Mike got scared, thinking I was gonna take that Jake Paul fight from him, and he called me out and had bare knuckle call, like present this thing. And I was like, really? I'm like, you didn't mean that.
Yeah.
Mike Perry too was like, and I like the bare knuckle thing. It was like it was something that it was intriguing because it was just so different, and I want to do different things. You get burnt out, stuck in this rotation of mixed martial arts and the system too with the UFC dealing with all the guys and how it works and the hierarchy of like there's no hierarchy. It's his
Yeah.
favorite shit a lot of times, but sometimes it works in your favor, sometimes it doesn't. But I'm enjoying it. It's nice to be a free agent
Yeah.
for not having that, having the power and the weight of myself to be able to do what I want.
Of course, man. Freedom is power and all that good stuff. But just speaking of the lucrative opportunities in grappling, correct me if I'm wrong, Luke, but I remember there was a time where I don't know how serious discussions were, but the Jon Jones matchup in like Submission Underground, was that ever a thing that was close? What happened with that?
I don't know. I think it wasn't nothing too serious about it, but I was down. I mean, I think Chael was running it or something at the time
Yeah,
a while back. Yeah, but that would be interesting. I think I'm pretty good on the ground when I want to be.
absolutely, man. I saw that in the Paulo fight as well. So good
Uh,
times.
I didn't. You got to get that wrong. In the Paulo fight, he broke my nose before he took me down, and so when the time he took me down, I was just trying to figure out where the fuck I was.
Okay.
The fuck just happened? I was like, just hold on, figure it out. I got back up, and then I was too tired at the end of it.
That damn elevation, man. So
Trying to find that elevation when you're not used to it with just your mouth,
yeah, yeah,
not
problems. For sure, for sure. But yeah, it is nice to see, have all these possibilities and options, opportunities, all that good stuff as a free agent, man. Just any position you're in. So obviously, getting to do this thing here with OnlyFans TV and this rise and grind. Like, just how was this experience? How did it come together? Like, kind of tell me about what made you want to take it on. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know if it's out, so I'm kind of wanting to get the info out of you. But what can you tell me about this experience?
Uh, yeah, I mean, OnlyFans is really tying into wants to tie into a new culture of work and fucking there's a different level of what we do, rise and grind, the people rise and grind, and the people that push and move this world, the needle. And so I think everyone appreciates it to some level. I got my whole facility out here. I got the whole workout system, sauna, cold bath, hot tub. I got like a corrective kind of like you got to be in. You got to live in this shit. If you really want to be healthy, you gotta live in it. You gotta be motivated by it every day. I call it like the madhouse effect of living in this corrective space. We're building tendencies and problems every day, and if you're not living in a space to where you can really feed off that energy and motivate yourself every day you walk home, every day you walk out your door, you're not you're not gonna stay there. You're not gonna stay where you need to be. So OnlyFans came and they dove into my lifestyle, kind of building up. And I like fighting. I like continuing to fight because it still motivates me to stay on this journey of health to be better and better every day. And it's like without that, it's like you fall off a little bit and you transferring into other worlds, which I am. I'm working in other ways, but if I stop fighting now, it's gone for life.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's like I got to let it go. Taking 3 years off, coming back and fighting one of the best guys in the world at middleweight after 3 years off, after not having a good run, and putting him to his bitter end, and basically winning the war, losing the point game. I'm not retiring until somebody proves to me that I'm worse. Coming in and fighting Mike Perry, fighting the best guy in a prospective sport that I shouldn't have fucking competed in. I think I took it to him and did what I had to do within my space. You give me kicks, you give me gloves, you give me different. Okay, that's a different fucking story.
Yeah.
But I think right now it's time to really do something that plays to my strengths, and I do feel my boxing. I got to get healthy. I got to get my arm right. Like I said, I'm working on this thing and doing everything I can. And right now I'm on it's my fourth day of fasting. This is fucking crazy. I've never done this. I've done 4 days, but I've always done it with honey.
Mm.
But it's an eye-opening experience. It takes all the inflammation out of your joints, like your senses. My senses right now, like my eyes, my awareness, my feel, my touch, everything. It's insane, but it like pulls inflammation, it ignites your own stem cells, ignites your own growth hormone, and the clarity of mind too. It's a crazy healing factor. So I'm doing what I have to do right now, and really kind of focused into going out there and finishing my career the way I want to finish my career, and that's rising and fucking grind.
There we go, man. There we go. And I gotta wonder, like, is it kind of, I don't know, difficult or weird at times to have kind of the cameras invading the personal space and really documenting things like that? Or are you pretty comfortable with it at this point?
It's weird when it's not that way. Came so long at the top. I was Strikeforce champion back in 2011. So it's been over. It's
Yeah,
been
the
12 years.
Kennedy fight was just a couple weeks ago, right?
A couple weeks ago, yeah,
The anniversary, the anniversary.
or something like that, or 12 year anniversary.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was been a while. Yeah, so I'm yeah, I'm looking to finish it my way. So not I ain't gonna finish it on a bare knuckle boxing match. I'll tell you.
For sure. And I imagine this. You prefer this kind of thing with Rising Grind over a reality TV show. Can't expect you to see on Millionaire Matchmaker ever again.
I came in to blow that thing up, and I did. I did what
Oh, for sure, man. Good times, experiences. It's all about getting the experience in. But man, I mean,
really get that. People forget about the experiences and they just stay within their lane. I like to experience different things, and I think that's why it was bare knuckle. I knew bare knuckle was one and done, but I knew it was an opportunity to do something fucking cool and against an opponent that people could be entertained by.
Yeah, and
So looking for another one. I want the next thing that excites me and excites everybody else. I want to do different things that no one's done. That's my outlook on this game.
totally.
Maybe a couple fucking fight. It's like I'd come in and out and do whatever I want. But I'm not trying to do no bush league shit.
Yeah, man. I mean, you've earned the spot for sure. And yeah, it is crazy just to think about the Candy fight being, that long ago now. And that was the last Strike Force fight, right? Before things kind of got absorbed. So like, just to talk about it real quick, man. Like that was obviously a great fight for you, and I want to know, like, what do you remember about that all these years later? Big moment before going to the UFC, the champ and Strike Force. Like, what sticks out most from that fight in that time period? I guess.
Um, that was a really interesting time, no doubt. Fighting Jacare Souza when he was, top ranked guy in the world, and beating him in an absolute war when I'd never been out of the first round. Never went out of the first round, and I never knew like what it would be like, and getting into an absolute war with Jacare, and and then being like, what was I, like 30, 40 G's in debt. I
Fun.
was like people, everyone had like just believed in me, and I had shoulder injury after shoulder injury, and I was like 19 months out on the shelf, and coming back and beating Jacare in the war, and making over 100 grand. It was like that was like the world to me. That was a crazy time, and then like the whole system of this reporting system taking all the credit away from Jacare and putting us both outside the top 10 or some shit like that. I was
That
like,
was crazy. I remember that.
fuck you guys. And that was like and then I went out and smoked Keith Jardine, and then I fought Tim Kennedy. And Kennedy this is tough, man. He's just as tough as they can be. He's like he at that time he was very tenacious. Just one of those weird fighters. He's so mentally strong. Not the most skilled guy, but like in the stand up realm. But wrestling and jiu-jitsu, he was just such a tenacious bastard. Uh, and then you had Greg Jackson. Then you have Greg Jackson. I remember this so clearly. I was fighting him. Greg Jackson was like, he yells out like your name and everything you do within the fight to subliminally plant things within the judge's mind.
Mm.
Happen. So he's like, Tim throws a jab. He's like, beautiful jab, Tim Kennedy. Beautiful jab. You're like, I'm like, fucking, I'm fighting Tim. I'm like, shut the fuck up, Greg. Touch me. I'm like, he didn't even fucking hit me. What the
Right.
fuck? And so yeah, that fight was like really frustrating in so many ways. But him being as tough as he is, and the Greg Jackson just lying through his seconds. I was like, I was fighting two people that night.
Yeah, yeah. I gotta do what you gotta do, I guess, from Greg, but that's why he got where he is. So, man, I'm curious, Luke. Like, from just looking at the beginning to where we are now, man. Like, how would you say, like, how did the passion for MMA and just fighting in general compare when you started your career to once you like became a UFC champion and were at the pinnacle? Like, are they the same? Are they vastly different? Like, how do you kind of compare those two passions and moments, I guess, for you?
Yeah, I mean it's different for sure. I mean it was. I mean going into the fight with Jacare was everything. It was my world, and continuing to be champion was my world because there was still this like, are you the best? You're the Strike Force champion, but you have Strike Force in UFC, and everyone thought of Anderson Silva as the fucking as the GOAT back then, and it was like I had so much more to prove. Um, I believed in my heart that I was the best fighter in the world for many years, and and so fucking beating Keith Jardine and then beating Tim Kennedy, still not really getting the credit I deserve coming in to fight in the UFC, and them not really respecting me as they respected everybody else from Cormier to Gilbert and all these guys, giving them like immediate like top title fight kind of contender spots, and then putting me against Vitor Belfort on steroids in Brazil. Like it was like what? I have to fight Vitor. So you're gonna give me Vitor, in Brazil when everyone knows he's like a fucking science experiment
Right.
out there, protecting him out there, and you make me fight him in like Jargua do Sul. I felt very disrespected. I went in there with a lot of emotion, and it showed. And I paid for that. I had to reset myself, and knowing that I was still the best in the fucking world, and I just it was a big transition and time in my life to really fucking focus and let go of outcomes, let go of that tension, that belief of what happens, winning and losing, and just knowing that I was still better, knowing that I could still take a shot, knowing that it's that relaxation that really puts you in that mindset of a champion where things slow down and you really see everything so clearly. I stormed through everybody and then became the world champion, undisputed. And then it was like, there was a sense of relaxation,
Mm.
relief. It was like, and then there was like, what it was like in my mind, I'm always like a what's next kind of guy. Like
Right.
once I reached something, I try to find it was different. I don't know. And I was thinking more money. I was thinking money and I was thinking, business where I lost sight of, of the essence of fighting for a while. And I paid for that with Bisbing, and then I made it come. I came back a little bit, but I wasn't really in the right mindset the whole way. Really, I felt like it was just it wasn't right. I did the Ralph Lauren deal, and I had all these other things and this pressure on every way, and jumping up to light heavyweight and fighting Yoel, and I needed time off. I took those 3 years off to really kind of just assess the world. I've been in the game for so long, and really just did a lot of bullshit and realized what I really wanted and how much I did love fighting and how much it brought the best out of me. And and I got back into it. I put every bit of myself back into this game. And I took so many years off, so it's like growing back into myself was an interesting process, and it's hard to come from scratch to get back to the game and at the highest level, fighting fresh guys. And so I think you saw a little bit of the mentality of who I really am. That last fight with Paulo, and coming back in, bare knuckle was different. It was like it wasn't like something I had a passion for.
Right.
It was something that had a nice pot at the end of the rainbow, and it was scary. It was crazy. It was different. It entertained me, and it scared me, and I wanted to try myself at it. But I knew that I wasn't gonna die for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I'll fucking die for fighting. I'll die for MMA because that's something I've done my whole life and I believe in. I know how dumb. I kind of know how we all know how kind of crazy and how dumb bare knuckle is, and it's like, yeah, I ain't gonna lose everything. I ain't gonna lose it all. I've been in this. I made it this far. I ain't gonna lose it for that. Not done. I ain't trying to win a championship in bare knuckle fighting.
Man, I'm sure this is kind of an obvious question, or well, has an obvious answer, but what would you say has been the most satisfying victory of your career so far?
Uh Man, Jacare is definitely up there, and of course Weidman.
Mm.
Those two were really sweet. Um, those felt good. You know, best performances. I mean, be different. I don't know. I mean, I think like my best. It's always nice to be in like your best like that state of mind where you just the flow. Everything was right in camp. Everything was right in your weight cut, in your preparation, in your mind, and going in there, and you feel those moments of just freedom in the fight. Um, those were like I'd say
The Tim Boach one stands out to me, man. That's one of my favorite performances all time.
that was a good stretch I had. I don't think my Machida fight was that great. I was a little bit like like I was a little just didn't see as clearly as I should. I had some things in my head about it, but I think I think Bisbing, the first fight with Bisbing, I had a real moment of clarity, and I went in there and just it was flawless. Everything felt like I could see everything way before it happened. Tim Boach, yes, and Costa Philippou. I think I those are some of my favorite stretches of fights that I really felt just such in that flow state where you can't fuck with me. And I
Right.
was at my the pinnacle of where I was at.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely some very fun memories, man. For me, growing up, been one of my favorite fighters, Luke. So it's been great getting to chat with you, man. I know you're very busy, so we can wrap up there. But I appreciate it so much, man. I'm looking forward to catching Rise and Grind and seeing whatever comes next for you. I know you got this world. The world's your oyster, right? So many possibilities now. So looking forward to whatever's next, whenever is next. But yeah, man, been one of my favorites for a long time. So I appreciate it greatly, and just wishing you a great weekend, and hope the recovery goes well on the arm, all that stuff, man. I appreciate the time.
Thank you, boss. Thank you.